Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year. This is our first episode of 2024. Happy New Year,
Yes, it
guys.
is.
How,
Imagine that.
how have you been? We really hope that you had a wonderful, reflective season and that you are all ready and raring to go for 2024. So,
Mhm.
Karen Thompson here, your life strategist and personal growth coach. And it really has been an awesome pleasure to just be here over the past couple of months. So, we are your Getting It Done with Gratitude team. And this
Awesome.
morning, guess what? We are kickstarting the year. So, how
Yeah.
do you kickstart your year? What are the things that you do to kickstart your year? And while you are dropping those in the comments so that we can all see, we're going to introduce ourselves. So I'm Karen Williams Thompson, life strategist and personal growth coach. And I work with women to really help them get absolutely clear on their purpose and their way. What is that thing that they are the most passionate about, that they really want to pursue, that they want to leap out of bed on the mornings and really get to it? We look together at what are some of the things that are holding you back? What's stopping you from really just getting on with it and getting it done? And then we create the magic. We create a strategic plan with all the intentional goals to help you successfully achieve that and have the life of freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment that you have always wanted. And I am joined with my dear friend, Shelly Ann. Shelly, how are you?
I am fine. I'm wonderful. I'm excited. It's our first program for the year, and I love the idea of, kickstarting with gratitude. So that's how I begin. I kickstart with gratitude. And
Mhm.
for those who know me, or if check my LinkedIn, you would see everything is about gratitude. Um, Now I haven't kind of gotten really into the year so far, so but lots of things in store. I feel like I'm still on vacation mode actually.
Monday.
You know,
Monday's coming. Monday, you're going to
yeah,
be.
yeah, I'm trying to
Mhm.
squeeze out the last bit and for those who are wondering and you see gratitude guide and habit coach below my name, let me explain what a gratitude guide is because I'm just like all things gratitude. And what I do is that I help my clients develop a daily habit of gratitude so that they can lay the foundation with that keystone habit to really get into the habits that they would need to accomplish what they're aiming for. And so all of that is based in this belief that I really believe people over 40 deserve to pursue their goals with joyous energy. And that might sound like one of those duh kind of statements, but the thing is, when you hit 40 and you're going beyond 40, there's this concept of midlife crisis and you start to feel like, time is running out on you and everything just gets frenzied and you're in the midst of work and family and everything just begins to be so much that we really forget to live and enjoy the small moments and the little things. And so I'm here to remind you of that, remind myself of that, and really implement that gratitude strategy, which is about saying it right, saying it loud, saying it always, working on the language and the tangible, active gratitude, and of course, that habit. Which brings us to today's discussion, kickstarting the year with gratitude. Now, if you already have a gratitude habit, hopefully it's a daily one, and that would have been the thing that you did to kickstart the year. But I think most people were up pretty late and getting up pretty late on New Year's Day. So we're kind of, now coming around to kickstarting the year on the 4th of January.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like me, I'm still, working into a lot of things.
Yeah.
Um, do you ease into the year or do you kind of like try to hit the, what we say, hit the ground running on January 1st?
I don't hit the ground running. So I think I'm somewhere like I ease. I would like to say that I ease in, and I ease in by kind of December for me is always a very reflective month. So I tend to be thinking and reflecting on the year and then looking ahead to what I want. So that's like what I would say how I'm easing in. But I like to know when I am into January, when I start January the 1st, I like to know that I have done that reflection. And I also
Hmm.
like to know that I have an idea of what my next 90 days are going to look like. And part of that is probably my default because I am a very planner, and I like to have a roadmap so that I know where
Hmm.
I'm going. I could do really well at getting lost. If mommy was around, she would tell you I'm notorious for rambling, as we say in Barbados, trying to get somewhere and taking all the wrong roads to get to this one destination. But I as you ask that question, I'm thinking that for everyone, they probably do something different. So that might have been
Hmm.
my way. So for everyone, there's a different way that they actually kickstart and what that means for them. I know a lot of people still set resolutions at the beginning of the year, but
Yeah.
I don't like to talk so much about resolutions as more trying to invite you to set intentions and to keep it simple. I think that's one of the things that we've really noticed and we wanted to share with you this morning, the importance of
Oh,
keeping it.
yeah.
So I like to say, think about three things, three big things, three medium things, three whatever things that you want to achieve in this year. So don't want to achieve a whole cadoodle. Think of three things that you want to achieve, prioritize them, and then after you have done that, then you can work backwards and figure out how you're going to execute them, how you're going to get these three things done. But at least by identifying those three things, you have done your part in kickstarting. So for me, to kickstart is to
Hmm.
reflect on the past year and then to set clear goals of where I want to go. Because I don't know about you, Shelley, but I find that when we get to January the 15th, then all of a sudden the month is just go ching, 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 and before you know it, we'll be at the end. Because to me, last year went really quickly, and
Yeah.
if today is
Yeah.
January the 4th already, and I feel like we just celebrated January the 1st. So if that's any indication of how the time is moving, where you have to get up and remind yourself, okay, what day is it? What date is it? Oh yeah. Especially when you're on vacation, the days start to just blur.
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
it's important for me to have a roadmap. So tell us what's important for you when you are kickstarting and how you think gratitude could really help you in that. Because we really want to leave you with thoughts to percolate on, but also things that you can really just do and implement
Yeah.
to make it easier for you, to make it simpler for you, so that it is not something that is burdensome. So
Yeah.
that was
Um,
me.
I think the whole idea of having a plan, having at least an idea, because I have a friend who always says, um, write your goals in concrete, but make your plans in the sand. And at least I think that's the full saying. It sounds the concept is there, but I feel I missed some word somewhere. But so I do like to have an idea, but I'm moving away from, having these exact plans for the big goals. I like to take it in chunks. And like you, I work with the whole 90-day concept because I work with the quarters. So
Hmm.
I have an idea of what I want to accomplish for the first quarter, and I have a general idea overall of what I want to experience for the year. And a friend of mine introduced me to a three-step concept of how to come up with these ideas and plans for the year. And so when we met for our accountability intention session, we did two things. We looked back at 2023 using these three ideas, and then we looked ahead at 2024 with the same ideas. So it was like the first part is being, and that has to do with what are you working on changing in regards to mindset. So we know that attitudes and mindset and all of that, that's the core of behavior. So what are you working on changing? So when we look back at 23, we looked at what mindset changed over the time. What did we learn? How did we develop? How did we grow in that area? And then we looked forward at 2024, what mindset do I want to achieve and adopt and so on. So that's the first one. And then process what systems that I put into place during 2023, and then what systems do I want to put into place for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And then we looked at outcome. What goals did I accomplish in 2023? And what do I want to do and feel and experience in 2024? So I love that because it's a blend of feelings and behavior. And to me, that's really where things are awesome. And so that gives like the overarching thing. But then the next step was, what is one tiny thing that we can do now? Where do we get started?
Mm-hmm.
With the
Mm-hmm.
tiniest, with the smallest, with the most manageable action. Because as we were chatting before we went live, the small things really, really make a difference. And sometimes we have all these, grand ideas of what we want to achieve, but how do we get started? One action, one step.
Yes, and I think that's where writing it down helps, because sometimes when
Yeah.
it's all in your mind, it seems and it feels like a lot. And to be very, very transparent, oftentimes it is a lot. But when you write it down, it begins to take the form of clarity. When you write it down, you actually look at it and you're able then to
Hmm.
assess it and to say, which ones are the ones that need to move up to the top, which can be deferred for another time, which maybe slide right into quarter two, you know, and it helps you then to prioritize. And that in itself eases where you are and helps you to focus on where you are now and what you can do about what you have in front of you. And that enables you to take that first step. That
Yeah.
enables you to do that one thing. And what happens is when you do that one thing and it works and you feel good, then that is the motivation now and that is the momentum to go to the second. And then it keeps building. And before you know it, you have crossed off and done the things that you had for on your on that you've written down for that specific time frame. And that is
Yeah.
the wonderful thing about it. And it's just a simple step. Sometimes we think, oh, we're just too busy. We don't have that time to write it down. Believe me, you could write it down on anything. Don't make it you have to go to the stationery store now and buy a specific book and get a particular pen. Don't make it all of that. Keep it simple.
Hmm.
Get a notebook you have home. I'm sure you have something home that has in some pages that you haven't used. Put 2024 on the top of the page and then turn to the clean page and write down. Simple, easy, and keep it like things that are just going with the flow. Write it out and then take the step. Take that
Yeah.
one step
Yep.
and keep it moving like that. And when you are feeling that momentum and when you are feeling the motivation to do the others, the gratitude slides right in there because you're grateful and you're experiencing all of that then where yes I did it. You have all of that going on,
Hmm.
and that then is allowing you to practice gratitude. And without even realizing it so seamlessly, when you just practice these simple steps, you are able to just blend gratitude right into it. And that is how kickstarting your year can be seamless for you so that you don't get caught up in the overwhelm, you don't get
Oh
caught up
yeah.
in setting, all of these big goals, and then you look at them and oh my goodness, where am I going to start? How am I going to
Hmm.
get this done? Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah. I remember when I first got started with gratitude, it was extremely simple. Now because I've been doing this for years,
Mm-hmm.
I have a routine, and my journal is not a little journal. It's like this size now, because I have a routine and I have these set things and these areas that I work on, and they've been helping tremendously. But I look back at where I began, and I had a little notebook. It was like about, about maybe the twice the size of my phone, a little notebook, and I used to write down. I tried to do 3 gratitudes every day. That was the aim, and that was the goal. So the goal wasn't to, accomplish this big thing by using gratitude. The goal was just really to develop that daily habit of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just write it down. Sometimes I'd get one, sometimes I'd get two. I would really aim for three. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, like when we had first started these lives, I used to talk a lot about indoor plumbing, and
Yes.
how grateful I am for indoor plumbing. That was my go-to. So when I couldn't remember anything else, I would write down. I'm grateful for having a shower indoors. I'm grateful for hot water. Um, and there was a time we didn't have hot water, so I would just be grateful for the running water inside, or that I could use the toilet inside and I don't have to go to an outhouse. And, just things like that. I'm grateful that the electricity is running. I'm grateful that, anything that I could mention, and that it was a real stretch for me to get three in the beginning, a real stretch. And now I have a list. I'm trying to figure out how to add more lines in the column, because after I finish with the three ones that I'm focused on, I always want to write more, and then I remind myself, hey, stop at this three. The joy of that and the fact that you have so much more that you could write, that is what is going to really motivate and infuse what you're doing with joy. And so for me,
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing about starting the year with gratitude is starting from a position of joy, and not from a position of, I have so many things I need to do. How am I going to get it done? I'm starting from, I got all this done last year, and it's not everything I wanted, but man, am I happy that I got these things done. I'm really grateful for the people, for the whole, everything. And from that, I'm more settled and I'm more confident, and I could sit back and take that objective view. Because I think, when you're in the midst of something, and there is this need, and you feel like there is a lack, it's difficult to take that step back and observes things. And in fact, I would say it's kind of impossible. That's why we need coaches and we need mentors and we need guides, so that they can help us when we're not in the position to do it for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um and and so that's how it works with me. So I've done, and this in 2020 I started the habit of doing the 7 gratitudes to wind down the year. And when I first started, I I was struggling to get those 7 gratitudes. What can I do, and what can I say? And I missed some days. I didn't do all 7 days, and it was. I'm looking back at it now, realizing how far I've come, because now I have a set 7. I have categories for the 7, and the one I did this December, ending off 2023. I had my list, I had it written out before the 25th so that
Mm-hmm.
I could begin on the 25th. In 2020, in the midst of, the whole pandemic and everything, I was just really doing it to remind myself that there's stuff
To
to
be
be grateful
grateful
for
for.
still. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a real struggle. And so it's a step-by-step thing. And it doesn't start immediately with in the midst of all this joy and gratitude. There are going to be days when one thing is all that you could come up with off the top of your head. And those are the days when you, you know, sit back and look at the tangible things, look at the things around you, and, you know, call what you see, make it as tangible as possible.
Yeah. I also think that those are the days when you don't beat yourself up because that is a
Hmm.
temptation. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know that there will be people who will be looking and thinking, "Oh, I didn't get this done." And the default is to say, "Oh my goodness, look what I did not do. Look
Yeah,
what I have not
yeah.
accomplished." But what we are really suggesting and inviting you to embrace is to do the flip of that. To, as you said just now, when you're tempted, when that is the thought that comes up, because it will come, we're
Yeah.
all human, it will happen. When it does come though, catch yourself, pause, and look around you, and I'm sure somewhere within the range of your vision at that time, wherever you are, you're going to see something or someone that you are really grateful for. Focus on that. Focus on
Hmm.
that and speak to that so that you take your mind and shift it from being in a place of lack and scarcity to being in a place of abundance and gratitude and the joyousness that you really, really
Yeah.
want to have. That is really what we need to do. We need to always be um, aware, attuned to our bodies. Listen, and when you hear those things, make the shift. And as we were talking about, kickstarting the year and what it means for people, a vision board is such a lovely way to do
Oh,
it.
yes.
I love to do them just because I love to explore my little creativity. So I think of my word, and then, like Shelley said, I think about what I want to be feeling and what I want to be experiencing. So I guess that would come under my being. And I
Hmm.
look for ways to highlight that. So for me, family is such a big thing. So, I might have a picture of my family with us doing something because that's something that I always want to have as part of my vision. Or what are the things that I want to do? Maybe I want to set a goal to connect with 1,000 women this year. So I might have that there, photos of women and that number. So there are different ways to create a vision board, but a vision board is really a picture. And for each of us, we store things differently. For some of us, the written word is enough. For some, audio. For some, visual. So the vision board really captures that. You can have the pictures, and what I encourage persons when I say let's do a vision board is put it everywhere. Put it on the
Hmm.
bathroom window, put it on your phone as a screensaver, put it on your laptop, put it on your
Yeah.
fridge. And the reason for that is that life happens and we can get caught up in life. But when you get up every morning and you are fixing your hair or you're doing whatever, and that vision board is there, it's a reminder. It's a
Hmm.
reminder of where you're going, and it helps to bring you back to now. So you can get up and be thinking, oh my gosh, today is got I have 2 meetings, I have to pick up the kids, da, 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 da. And it starts to get like that. But you look at that vision board and you remember your why. You remember where you're going. You
Hmm.
remember why you started on this journey. And you just
Yeah.
start to calm yourself right down. And that's one of the really cool things about a vision board. It helps you to just be reminded, it helps you to stay focused, and it helps you to be accountable to where you are going. So that's another good way to actually kickstart your year by just creating your vision board and using the words and the photos of things that are going to guide you throughout this year. And I'm going
Yeah.
to
And I
let you
think,
talk about this, but another
yeah.
good thing you can do to kickstart is really just starting to establish habits.
Oh,
just trying to establish, good habits, whether they're healthy habits about how you want to eat, whether they're habits about looking after your well being, your mental well being as well. But I mean, the whole act of creating creating habits is another wonderful way to kickstart your year.
yeah, I was thinking about New Year, new habits, new
Yes.
year, new you. That's the
Hmm.
feeling a lot of people get when it's a new year. It's like there's a lot of energy and they want to start new things and be different. And this year is the year, and you hear those kinds of statements. But we know the statistics. We spoke about them last week.
Hmm.
What happens? What happens between? And so for me, the number one thing after gratitude and after expressing your gratitude, and you're beginning from that holistic place of joy, the number one thing is to start small. And we talk about the tiny thing and the different all of that, but um for me, the idea is we really, really have to remind ourselves to start small, and a vision board is one of the ways to start small, because we can do that. That's something that we can get done. It's a practical actionable item. So for those who are listening and you don't know where to begin, you have all these ideas, start with a vision board. If the vision
Yep.
board feels a little too much, just write things down.
Yeah.
Start with the being, process, outcome. Start with, how do I want to feel at the end of 2024 and during
Hmm.
2024? If I look back, what do I want to accomplish? Is there anything that I've been thinking about for the longest while, but I don't know how to begin? These are some of the questions that we can use to
Hmm.
start ourselves thinking. And so when we're not sure about what to do, I always go back to the gratitude. So when there's any kind of doubt or confusion, or sometimes my I was reading a post in, oh, I can't remember the group now, but the question was at the beginning of the year, how do you ease into the year, or do you hit the ground running? And
Hmm.
one person commented on, I don't know which way is up right now. And
Uh,
sometimes that happens because I know, especially for people with challenges and diverse thinking and processes, what happens sometimes is that the transition is a deal. It's a big deal making the transition. So
hmm.
it's not as simple as, okay, vacation is up now, I'm back to work, or, just stepping into new things. They do have to ease into it. And so she said, I don't know which way is up. And when she said that, my mind thought, those boxes that you get, fragile, and you
Oh,
have to, and there's an arrow on it that points up.
yes, yes.
So that's what I thought. And so there's always going to be something that is tangible that can ground you. And that is one of the ideas that I've been working on. What is this tangible thing that can ground me? Because sometimes you really don't feel like if you know which way is up. And
Hmm.
and so I mentioned that to her. She said, "You know what? My arrow is spinning right now. I don't even know which direction this arrow is pointing."
Oh,
And,
dear.
and sometimes that's how it feels at the beginning of a year. And so it's okay. Take a breath, write down your gratitudes, whatever you can think of in the tangible. And I'm into multisensory learning. So I say listen to it, write it, you know, get something that makes us smell, the vision board, everything, the whole feeling
Caboodle.
tangible. Yeah, the whole range of your senses. because that's when you really infuse it into your entire being, and that's what you want. So if you don't know where to start, maybe think about that.
Yeah, and I really think the key thing is when you were talking about, she said that her arrow was just spinning and she didn't know where, was to stop. Just pause. You see, when things are feeling like that, that is an indication. That's something just telling you it's time to take a breath. Take a deep breath. Do the five, four,
Hmm.
three, two, one anxiety and breathing exercise. Breathe in, release slowly for five,
Yeah.
then four, then three, then two, then one. By the time you get to one, you're in a calmer place. The arrow is not spinning as much, and then you are able to take the one step, because we everything that we do, we are coming full circle to say take that one step at a time. Keep it simple. I use that as a KISS acronym. I like kisses, but keep it stupidly simple. That way, it keeps that element of all the angst out. And
Yeah.
we don't need that in 2024. We want to be joyous. We want to feel fulfilled. We want to
Hmm.
be having the freedom and the flexibility to do the things that we want to do, to really make that impact, to really make that difference. So, how are we going to get that? By taking one step at a time. Kickstart your year with simplicity.
Yep. Yep.
Be
And
present and grateful for where you are and take the one step. What are the one,
mhm,
two things that you really want to get done? You knock those off, guess what? You add on the other two. So, I mean,
yeah.
from me to you, take the pause. Make sure that you are putting your mental well being first. And do that by using gratitude. And then you are on your way.
Yeah.
I promise
And that,
you, you're on your
yep. And
way.
that's how you do it. Kickstart. It starts somewhere. It starts just one sentence. If you could manage nothing else today, one sentence, what are you grateful for? And if you can't think of anything because of whatever it is you're going through, write
Um,
down the fact that you could write this down, or that you heard this program, or that you have the computer, or anything. Just start with one gratitude and keep doing that, and then build on it, and eventually you would end up like us, where gratitude is the first thing that you think of, and you have that system in place where joy takes you into your next task. And so I think I'm wondering if, at some point we might need to, increase the time.
No, we need to be grateful that we are allowed into their spaces for 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
then we do that. We will be right here next week, and of course you can connect with us and have further conversations. We would love to have a conversation. You can connect with Shelly, you can connect with myself, hit us up in the DMs, and we would love to have a
Hmm.
conversation with you. If it's just to know how you're getting through, we're happy to do that. We love having conversations with persons from all over the world, and then just sharing all the things that come up for that, because we learn so much from each other in,
Yeah.
in, in those conversations. It's just a very beautiful thing, having the time to just have a chit chat with someone. So, anytime, just send us a DM, connect with us. We'd be happy to have a conversation with you. If you need more support or assistance, again, just reach out. Both of us are on LinkedIn. We're also on. You can find Shelly on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. But just reach out, and we'd be more than happy to have
Yeah.
a chat with you. So here's wishing you a wonderful 2024, a year filled with joy, with fulfillment, a year when everything that you want for yourself, you start to achieve and you achieve it. So we're hoping that this morning, you, if you haven't done it yet, you are kickstarting your year.
Yeah, and kickstarting it with gratitude, so
Gratitude.
that you're going to be joining us next week when we continue our look at how do you begin with gratitude and really get into that joy that gratitude promises. And we know it fulfills that promise because we live it every day. So if you're
Mhm.
curious about that, like Karen said, reach out, find us. but definitely check back in next week when we'll be talking more about getting it done with gratitude. So have a wonderful 2024 and see you around. Take care, everybody.